Today we're going to be learning about the history of age and consent. This is a sensitive topic, so please let us know and we can get you another research assignment. This topic is about statutory rape, and rape is mentioned very often. The objective of today's lesson is to have you all learn the legislation behind statutory rape and its history. Research how different states have different legislation, and encourage internal thought.
The history of statutory rape starts long before the colonies were even created. We see one of the first references of statutory rape in the Statute of Westminster, wherein the new law stated that a girl under 12 could not give legal consent, therefore men could not have sex with a female under that age of consent. The colonies adopted this law later, and some lowered the age of consent to 10 and others stayed with 12.
It was later changed to 16 and 18 across the states by female activists. The change of age of consent that came first with the first wave of legislation reform of statutory rape was not exactly for the female, but to limit the age in which a woman could choose to ruin herself. There were joke legislation proposals around the states, one saying that the state of consent be moved to 81 and the female wear a chastity belt until the age of consent is reached.
The second wave of reform came in the 70s and 80s. The turn of the century encouraged more feminist views to be taken seriously. With this new wave came many new amendments to statutory rape legislation. Some of these amendments hold strong today. Advocates fought for the wording of existing legislature to be changed to accommodate male victims of statutory rape as well as female. Feminists also fought for the term sexual assault and sexual battery to be used in the place of rape to emphasize the violent nature of rape itself. Rape shield laws were created so that the victim's sexual past could not be brought into evidence when looking into a single case. And some other legislation that was changed includes broadening the offenses beyond heterosexual penetrating rape, grading offenses based on the seriousness and severity of the conduct, and eliminating the marital exemption and forcible rape law that excluded husbands from prosecution.
Then, the Romeo and Juliet clause in statutory rape allegations allows a minor under the age of legal consent and someone over the age of legal consent to have a sexual relationship depending on the years between them. Most states have this clause and it can go up to 5 years of a difference in order to preserve a defendant with reasonable cause to have a relationship with someone under the age of consent.
Although there's a legal age of consent, which is usually 16 to 18 years old, there's also a term called factual consent, in which someone who is under the age of 18 can still make the conscientious decision to have sexual relations with somebody over the age of consent. The age of factual consent is used when determining if there was any consent in the first place.
So now we have the assessment for you guys. First, we want you to pick a different state in the United States. Then we will need a 1 to 2 page summary of that state's statutory rape legislation. It needs to include the age of consent for that state, the age different clause if they have one for that state, and a minimum of 2 cases that happened in that state.
We also have an extra credit opportunity for you. We'd like to know which state has the best legislation and why you believe so. Also, don't forget, this is all due at the beginning of our next class together. This shouldn't take you more than an hour of research and an hour of writing.
And before we let you go, we just wanted to give you some links to help you with your research. Good luck and see you next time.